ShortPoint. What is ShortPoint? Make your SharePoint site accessible to all with ShortPoint Accessibility. Our accessibility features are simply integrated and offer support for over 40 languages and over 80 accessibility functions. Get started today with a free trial.
Welcome guys to this Visual Builder webinar.
Welcome to the ShortPoint Visual Builder video
Visual
tutorial.
Builder is out and available.
ShortPoint Visual Builder migration.
Visual Builder history.
Just Visual Builder beta.
Visual. Well, okay. We decided to rename it. From now on, Visual Builder is called Live Mode. Live Mode allows users the ability to design and see exactly how the environment is. Live. It's more than a visual builder. It's live mode. In Wireframe Builder, it's now called Grid Mode. And these two modes are covered by ShortPoint Page Builder. Go and try beta now.
Hello everyone, my name is Oksana. I'm the Customer Experience Manager at SharePoint. And today I'm very excited to see you all in this webinar where we will be talking about problems and solutions for SharePoint accessibility tools. Before we start the webinar, let me make just a couple of tech reminders so you have a better understanding of how the webinar today will look like. So first of all, we will have some polls popping up on your screen during the webinar. If you can, please answer them for us. This will be of a great help for us to understand your preferences better. Also, some links will be shared during the webinar so you can have a better understanding of what we are talking about when we are talking about it. And thirdly, chat is enabled for all of your questions, but the questions will be private to us during the chat. We will keep them until the last 10 minutes of the webinar so we can answer them. But if we don't have time to answer any of the questions in this half an hour, don't worry, we will not forget about you. We will reach out to you with an email after the webinar. We will have a special campaign where you will see the webinar recording, and you will also be able to see the questions and all the information regarding what we will be talking about today. So with all of that being said, let's begin our webinar on problems and solutions for SharePoint accessibility tools. First of all, I will start by explaining the current situation with Intranet accessibility. Intranets, unfortunately, do not come with high-quality accessibility features by default. They are very poorly accessible, which I will demonstrate to you in just a couple of minutes in my live demonstration. So to make the intranet sites accessible, a company has to spend a lot of time as well as highly qualified manual work. Oftentimes, companies do that for their official customer-facing sites, but intranets tend to be neglected. And nowadays, in many countries around the world and the US specifically, site accessibility is a legal requirement. That means that not only customer-facing websites have to be accessible, but also collaboration sites, intranets, have to be accessible as well. If an intranet site is not compliant with the existing universally recognized standards, then you may get a lawsuit against your company. So what can a company typically do to not get into that trouble and prevent itself from that risk? It will, in most cases, start looking for tools to make the site more accessible, since they want to avoid manual work. And you might be thinking, okay, well, what's the problem with that? The problem with these tools, most of them that we analyzed in the market, is that they don't offer solutions for accessibility standards. They may improve several things in your intranet. So they can make your fonts bigger, or they can provide you with a better screen reading experience. But the problem is, this is not a solution for intranet accessibility compliance. So they cover up some of the needs that you have in accessibility, but this is just a tiny percentage of what is demanded under the accessibility standards that are universally recognized. This means that with those tools, you will improve some things, but still a lot of things will be remaining not compliant. And moreover, like most of these tools have a technical know-how. They work under certain conditions. For example, they need a specific operating system, or they expect you to use a specific type of browser. And all of that provides you with a little bit of fixes in some features. So it makes some parts of your internet accessible, but it does not offer you readiness to get a compliance certificate. It doesn't offer you full compliance with the accessibility standards. Now, let's talk a little bit about the challenges that also exist specifically for intranets that are a little bit different from the websites. Intranets are usually not just one site because they are meant for collaboration. Sometimes intranets can be really huge and consist of thousands of sites. And we have those customers in ShortPoint where they have more than 1,000 sites under their intranet. So it means that all of the things that you're doing for accessibility has to be universally done in every of those sites, in all of those pages, which means that it's a lot of work. So the work is multiplied to every site that you're using in your intranet. It would be, of course, a lifesaver if one change that you make on one site could be affecting other sites all across your intranet. So we were looking for a solution like that. And after researching some possible options and analyzing them carefully, we are really happy to say that at ShortPoint, we found what we were looking for. So we, as you may already know, we partnered with UserWay. UserWay is a company that is a leader in web accessibility. UserWay's technology is powered by AI, and using AI, UserWay's tool automatically makes your intranet more accessible. It will make all pages accessible. Doesn't matter how much of them you have in your intranet. And what is good is that it also makes future pages accessible. So as you install the tool, it makes those accessibility remediations for existing sites and pages, but also on top of that, it takes care of every new site created after the tool was installed. So if you create sites or pages in real time, or you're planning to create more of them in the future, all of them will be covered. The AI is continuously running to detect changes and fix the issues with accessibility in your site and make those remediations. And we guarantee that your intranet will be fully accessible and also compliant with the standards of accessibility. We have been working with UserWay for a long time to create an AI-powered solution for SharePoint and Office 365 environments specifically. And it is now seamlessly integrated into ShortPoint, which means is that ShortPoint can now provide you with the best of accessibility tools for each and every person that is using your SharePoint environment. And because of these tools, each user of your intranet can now easily integrate, update, and alter their SharePoint content, take advantage of it the same as everyone else. Now, I would like to start the live demo of what I'm actually talking about here for so long. So before that, I'm gonna again hide my live video so you are seeing the screen much better. So this is a SharePoint site that is built with ShortPoint. You can see it here. And I'm gonna be trying to see how accessible it is. So one of the most popular things that are used in accessibility is how the site is accessible by keyboard navigation. I'm pressing Tab right now to see if the site will allow me to navigate it with the Tab key. And as you can see, yes, some of the little buttons on the top are navigated. But then after I press it several times, after you just saw it, after the new icon on the screen, it disappears somewhere. And now I'm pressing the tab multiple times, and it's not actually circling anything up until this View More button that I hope you see here down below on my screen. So it's skipping a lot of content. I didn't see where all of this content went. Why is it skipped? Now it's going to guide me through the upcoming events. And then it just brings me here. It shows me those two arrows here in the element. And then all of the other things are also skipped. And it starts from the beginning, going from my web address and everything like that. So I want to draw your attention to the fact that this is not a page fully built on ShortPoint. Actually, it just doesn't just skip the ShortPoint content here, stopping on the upcoming events, but it also skips SharePoint page content, which I included here specifically for illustration, so you understand that even the out-of-the-box SharePoint web parts are not included. So starting from now, this is already available. I want to announce that this is already in the product. If you download the latest version of ShortPoint, you can go to your site contents, open the ShortPoint dashboard, and you will see a tile that will say accessibility. Here it is. When you click this tile, it will give you access to the accessibility widget from ShortPoint powered by UserWay. Let's enable this one. And as you click enable here, I'm going to now go to my Outlook mail. And here I have a new email from UserWay, which says, welcome to UserWay Accessibility Tools. And it gives me a username and a password. Now I'm going to copy these two, the username and the password. Let me show you where. So on the top of your screen, in the top right corner, you will have a new icon with the accessibility widget after you activate this widget. And now I have a manage button here. So I'm going to quickly copy and paste these username and password here. And it will start the trial of accessibility tools for SharePoint for me. This is what you will see after you launch it for the first time in your site. It has loaded a bit, and now you can see that I'm managing this widget now since I logged in already. And I have already some report on the issues that were fixed in my site. Now, we recommend this to stay here for 24 hours. So the widget is calculating all of the remediations that need to be done to your website. And then you can review them just the next day and see what it has found, what it has fixed, and what it has for your review. Because I don't want you to wait for 24 hours, obviously, I'm going to be sharing another screen now where this tool was already installed for 24 hours. And let's see what it found there. Okay, so currently I am on a site where the widget was enabled for 24 hours already. And let's see what it has found for us. I'm going to the Manage section. And as you can see on this site, it has fixed 392 issues. Now, depending on the size of the site, the issues number can be bigger, of course. This is a very small site that I'm using for demonstration. So it's only 392, but it's still a huge number. And it shows also the severity of those accessibility issues that were fixed. Now let's see some of the remediations it has done or it is suggesting us to do. So there will be remediations for review and remediations that no review is required. For example, it has fixed issues with the color contrast on this page. It has also fixed issues with the image outs. So this is very important. This is how the screen reader will be reading the content of your page. And before this remediation was done, all of these images down below in my page with people, with some office workers, different images, they were not readable. And now, as you can see, the ShortPoint accessibility automatically reads them and creates an image alternative text, a group of people sitting at a table. This is AI looking at the picture and actually reading what's in that picture. And also a few people shaking hands. So it's also AI working on the page and creating image outs for these images. What else we have here? We have some remediations that don't require review, so they are already applied. Screen reader 24 violations. So if you actually try to open the screen reader right now, let me show you that one. We are going to the accessibility widget right now, and we open screen reader. It's going to read the elements of the page right now for us.
Screen reader enabled. Reading pace normal 1 of 3.
So I'm going to be using again the tab to navigate the page.
Skip to main content button. Section landmark. Publish. Previous slide button.
So you can see.
View more opens in new tab. Link. Next slide button. Carousel slide 1 button. Carousel slide 2 button. Carousel slide 3 button. Read more link. My Tools More Planner link.
So as you can see, I have just demonstrated
Screen
how,
reader enabled. Reading pace normal 1 of 3.
let me turn this off,
Read screen reader disabled.
how the screen reader is now actually seeing all of those items I just shown. It's going through the elements that were not captured in the default screen reader. So it made all of those 24 improvements on the page. It means that it's gonna now read all of the items that we have here in the page and not be skipping any content like it did before. Okay, let's see the widget a little bit more. What else do we have here? We have tools to fix the contrast. I remind you that this part here, this widget, will be available for everybody. The remediations will be available for only the widget manager, the person who is responsible for accessibility at your company. But this widget is going to be enabled for every user that accesses your website. So you can make bigger text on the website, something like that. You can actually choose dyslexia-friendly fonts. You can change the alignment of the text. All of the different tools, you can make the cursor bigger. Look at the huge cursor right now. You can make it highlight a part of the page for you to be able to read it more easily. It can also act as a reading guide like this, so you can underline something on the page and you can see the navigation and the cursor better. So all of this is now enabled for all of the users in your website. Since so many issues were remediated on this website, we actually present you the opportunity to create a unique accessibility statement for your page, which you can do going to userway.org/generate. And here you'll be able to fill in your data and fill in the website address and click Generate My Accessibility Statement. And here it generates a statement that you can use in your website to show that it is now WCAG and ADA compliant. And you can embed this statement anywhere into your intranet to demonstrate how inclusive your website is. And I have embedded this intranet accessibility statement into my SharePoint site. I just created another page where it is nicely stored and where it can sit until you would like to show it to your coworkers, to your employees, to your colleagues, investors, whoever will be interested, or of course, auditors and those who will check the accessibility. Yeah, these are a lot of improvements. By the way, this widget is not, it is not mandatory that it's on the top right corner, so you can manage it. You can go to widget settings and you can change the button type, size, and what I'm interested is in the location. So let's move it from there. I want to move it down below to another place, preview. I want it to be here. So let's do it, apply. The widget position was saved. Okay, that was my demonstration for you today. Oh, also one more thing, sorry, I forgot. You can get your report. So if you click Get Report, all of those remediations made on your page can be put into a PDF file that you can then download and see for yourself in a report that is looking like this. So of course, again, if there are more pages in your website, more content, you'll definitely have it longer. I have it quite concise, but still every information is here about all of the sites, all of the different issues that were fixed. So that's incredibly handy as well. Now I'm stopping my demonstration to actually go and start the Q&A session with you guys. It's not so much time that is left, but I really hope that I can still answer some of the questions. So let me close everything now. Yep, I'm opening my questions that you guys submitted during the webinar right now. Okay, question number 1. Who has access to the widget and who's controlling it? So as I said before, there will be just one person in the company that is managing the widget. It's typically somebody who is responsible for accessibility at your company. They will be able to do all the settings, make all the site remediations, approve or disapprove them, generate statements, do everything. And then all other users will be having access to the accessibility widget tools that I have demonstrated, such as screen reader and fonts and cursors and stuff like that, just what I just demonstrated in the widget itself. And all other users will actually have a tailored experience for every of them. So they can use the tools how they want. It's not that you set it as the administrator for everybody, but rather they choose what's applicable to their needs. Okay, let's move on. What makes ShortPoint any better than using a standard screen reader? Okay, well, ShortPoint Accessibility is an AI-powered solution that can bring tons of remediations to your site. And it doesn't require any technological know-how. It doesn't require a specific operating system, and it doesn't require any specific browsers. So it can be used by anybody with every level of expertise. And basically, if your intention is to make your site compliant with the accessibility norms, then this is the tool to go with. Because in the same way, if somebody has not very good vision, they can go with binoculars, of course, to look and see the details of some faraway objects, but it's better to use glasses. So same with accessibility, it's better to use a tailored product to make your website compatible with the compliance norms of accessibility than just use other parts of tools or tools that are not meant for that. Okay, when accessibility tools are going to be available? So they are already available, and you can download the latest version of ShortPoint that has the accessibility tools in the dashboard, just as I shown you, from ShortPoint.com. You can already start using them. And the latest question, the last probably question, because I don't know if we have enough time. I think we are almost over time now. Can I try the widget somewhere else? I don't have where to install it. Yeah, if you want to play with the widget, you can go to shortpoint.com/accessibility. And in our official site, right in that page, you'll be able to open the widget. It's also installed in that site. So you can play around with it, try different tools, and you will not have to install it into your environment. Okay, I guess that's it. I was very, very happy to see everyone here today. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for wanting to make your intranet more accessible and more inclusive to everybody. I will see you in our next webinars. Take care. Goodbye.